NBC 15 News at 11 starts now.
Now at 11, a wintry mix makes for some dangerous driving conditions this morning. A look at what we can expect for the rest of the day.
Plus, the man accused of killing his 3 young sons wants to change his plea. We'll tell you how that may affect the case against him.
And 2 days of high-level talks between the United States and Cuba over normalizing relations begin today. Good morning, everyone. I'm Ashley Matthews.
And good morning to you. I'm Christine Bellport. Snowfall overnight and through the morning made for some wet roads over the area this morning. Let's take a look now. This was an SUV that slid off the road into a pond in the town of Roxbury. This is near Crystal Lake. Luckily, no one was hurt.
Now let's take a live look outside, courtesy of our Capital Skycam. A little bit cloudier, foggier out there today. Brian, what can we expect for the rest of our day?
Hey, Ashley, I think the snow will be coming to an end here as we head into the afternoon hours. We're already seeing that on Sky Tracker HD. You can see the snow there, and then it kind of dissipates as it goes on in time. And I think that'll be the general trend over the next few hours. Still, though, there will be some flurries and snow showers, and with temperatures hovering around that freezing mark to a few degrees below, there could still be some slick spots, especially on those rural roadways and the sidewalks and parking lots. 29 right now in Madison. It's 30 for many places, including Janesville, Monroe, Lone Rock, Mineral Point. 31 right now in Prairie du Chien. As we head through the afternoon, look for temperatures to climb to around the freezing mark as the snow showers come to an end by 6 o'clock, down to around 27. We do have some more snow in the forecast, but also some sunshine as we wrap up the week. We'll talk the timing on all of that coming up in just a few minutes. Guys?
Very good. Thanks, Brian. New at 11. A Wisconsin man convicted of killing his 3 young sons by setting fire to their home wants to withdraw his guilty plea. A motion filed in Lafayette County Circuit Court claims Armin was tricked into confessing to crimes he did not commit. If a judge decides to grant the motion, Juan could have the chance to change his plea and request a new trial. If the motion is denied, his attorney will ask the State Court of Appeals to overturn that. Juan was convicted of setting fire in 2012 to the home that killed his sons, ages 3, 5, and 7. Juan's pregnant wife suffered critical burns and lost the child she was carrying. The couple's 2-year-old daughter, however, survived. Also new at 11, a burglar stole construction tools from new home sites in Madison. The items were reported missing from these 3 construction sites and job trailers on Royal Oaks Circle. The locks and chains have been cut in order to get to the tools. They're valued at $9,500.
Making news right now, a Madison man is being sentenced on child porn charges. 39-year-old James Shempert is convicted on 2 charges of possession of child porn. Authorities executed a search warrant on Shempert's apartment on Deer Valley Road in the town of Madison last January. Shempert said he used a file sharing program to download child porn onto his computer. Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson is out to convince the 7th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Chicago to revive his lawsuit against the federal health care overhaul. Senator Johnson sued last year over a requirement that congressional members and their employees seek government-subsidized health insurance through small business exchanges. A federal judge tossed it out, saying Johnson didn't have legal standing to bring it up. Oral arguments are being held today.
In his 6th State of the Union, President Obama outlined a vision for the last 2 years of his presidency. Here's NBC's Peter Alexander.
The State of the Union is strong.
For 60 minutes and more than 6,000 words, President Obama, speaking in his next-to-last State of the Union, took credit for the recovering economy.
A stock market that has doubled and healthcare inflation at its lowest rate in 50 years. This is good news, people.
Casting aside his lame duck status, a noticeably confident president laid out a laundry list of ambitious proposals aimed at helping the middle class. Tax hikes for the wealthy, paid sick leave, and free community college tuition. And he challenged Republican support of the Keystone Pipeline.
So let's set our sights higher than a single oil pipeline. Let's pass a bipartisan infrastructure plan that could create more than 30 times as many jobs per year.
On foreign policy, President Obama urged lawmakers to lift the Cuban trade embargo and cautioned the battle to defeat ISIS will take time.
It will require focus, but we will succeed.
Despite calls for unity,
I still believe that together we can do great things, even when the odds are long.
Republicans jumped on this line, teeing up what may have been the comeback of the night.
I have no more campaigns to run. My only agenda, I know because I won both of them.
Iowa Senator Joni Ernst delivered the official Republican response.
Congress is back to work on your behalf, ready to make Washington focus on your concerns again.
One of several Republicans offering their take on the president.
In the sense that he wants to claim there's been a great economic recovery, which a lot of people have said it's been fairly tepid, but at the same time he wants to say, well, we still have these problems of income inequality, and I wonder whose fault that is.
In the American heartland, Ames, Iowa, where less than a year from now, voters will kick off the 2016 presidential picking process. 3 generations of the Eller family judged the president's performance.
I really felt like the president emphasized just the character of our nation.
He speaks well, gets the message across real well. Whether he can do it or not, it's another subject, you know.
That was Peter Alexander reporting. The president hit the road again this morning to highlight his message with stops in Idaho today, his first trip there since taking office. He'll stop tomorrow in Kansas.
Making news around the world, amazing images out of Mexico as the Colima volcano spewed a column of ash thousands of feet into the air. This dramatic time-lapse video shows the moment the volcano, also known as the fire volcano, exploded on Monday, sending a large cloud of ash and gases up nearly 10,000 feet into the air. Officials say the public is not at risk. The highest level U.S. delegation to Cuba in decades began 2 days of negotiations in Havana today. Delegations from both countries are focusing on immigration and normalizing relations. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez reports.
It is a historic day here in Cuba. The highest level U.S. official from the State Department will visit Havana for the first time in some 35 years. Assistant Secretary of State Roberta Jacobson will be here in Cuba to discuss, among other things, reopening the U.S. Embassy here. Now, today, the talks will center on immigration. Those have been planned for quite a while, but tomorrow the talks shift to restoring those diplomatic ties. The Cuban government plans to ask the U.S. to remove Cuba from the U.S. list of state sponsors of terror, as well as lift that long-standing embargo. The American government, meanwhile, will ask the Cubans for greater concessions when it comes to human rights. Now, that has been a big sticking point for opponents of the Castro regime. Many opponents in Congress, including many top Republicans, say that the U.S. should not ignore this country's record on human rights. However, what we've heard here on the streets of Havana, many Cubans keep repeating the word esperanza. They are hopeful that this thaw in U.S.-Cuban relations might mean some positive changes for this island. Back to you.
And that was Gabe Gutierrez reporting.